These are notes for section 6.3. Okay, 6.3, page 316, 1 to 59 odd. Some more. And let's see, we have to go to 59, so you can see 59 there. Okay, so that's that. And answers in the back of 6.3. Let's see. That and a little bit more on the right side. Yeah, there we go. Should all be there. Okay. So we're still factoring. Okay, now, when I work those problems out, you see the answer right away, but it's not necessarily that easy. You might have to do a lot of guessing around and have your eraser ready or be ready to cross a lot of stuff out. So this time, there's a coefficient in front of the x squared also. So last time it was only x squared or y squared or whatever. Now we have to account for the fact that in my FOIL first, outer, inner, last, this number has to be accounted for as well as this. Okay, x squared is x times x, plus plus is plus plus. For this first example, it's pretty straightforward. 2 has to be 1 times 2, so 2x and x. 3 has to be either 1 times 3 or 3 times 1. Okay, you don't know which is which until you try it. It turns out to be 1 and 3. So if you multiply this out, that's 6x plus 1x, so that's 7x. If you tried it the other way around, it wouldn't come out to be the way that you want to. Okay, 7. Minus sign means the signs are different. Y squared means y, and the only way to get a 3 is with 3y and a y. Okay, and 5 is pretty easy. It's either going to be 1, 5 or 5, 1. In this case, it would be a 1 and a 5. So even though I'm giving you the answer, you might actually take longer to get it through trial and error. Okay, but we want 1 and 5 here. Double check, this is negative 15y. That's a positive 1y, so that does give me negative 14y. Okay, 13. 4y squared. This one's a little bit harder because 4y squared, you know the y squared is a y and y, but 4 can be 1 times 4 or 2 times 2. Okay. Fortunately, 2 times 2 can be eliminated because 2 and 2 will only give you even numbers. This is an odd number, so you have to have a 4 and a 1. So 4y and a 1y. 3 is either going to be 1, 3 or 3, 1. In this case, it's going to be like this. Minus 3 and a plus 1, because that gives me negative 12y plus 1y. Okay, this one's a little bit harder. 20x squared minus 41x plus 20. Okay, x squared is x and x. A minus and a plus means they're both negative. Okay, how do you get 20? 4 times 5. Same for this one. Okay, and have to aim for 41. Now, I know that 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 4 is 16, and if you add them up, you get 41. So that tells me 5x minus 4, 4x minus 5. So if I multiply it back out, this is 20x squared minus 25x minus 16x is a minus 41x plus 20. Okay, 12m squared plus 16m minus 3. M squared is m and m. 3 has to be 1 times 3. 12, it can be 1 times 12, 2 times 6, or 4 times 3. It turns out that 6 and 2 work. If you go 6m and 2m, 1 and 3. And again, I'm putting the answer down right away because I'm familiar with this process, but you may not be as much. So again, you might have a lot of trial and error until you come up with this. A minus 1 and a positive 3, you can double check with FOIL. Okay, this one, 3x squared minus xy minus 14y squared. Okay, x squared has to be x times x. Y squared has to be y times y. Okay, how do you get 3? Well, 1 times 3, so 3x and a 1x just means x. Okay, 14 is probably 2 and 7. So 7 here and 2 here. Double check. 6xy minus 7xy is a negative 1xy. Okay, so that works. Okay, this one's a little bit harder. 15t squared minus 67t plus 38. Okay, t squared is tt. A minus and a plus means they're both minuses. And these are pretty bad numbers, but you can probably guess. 15, most likely it's 3 and 5. 38 is even, so that means it's 2 times something. It happens to be 2 times 19. So I'm going to guess 2 and 19, 3 and 5. Here's a combination, 5t minus 19, 3t minus 2, double check y. The outer is negative 10t, the inner is negative 57t, so put them together, it's negative 67t. So that works. Okay, 39. Okay, this time we have to take out the greatest common factor of x first. So x comes out, 10x squared minus 23x plus 12. Okay, minus and a plus means they're both minuses. X squared is an x and an x. And, well, let's see, 10 is probably 2 times 5. 12, well, probably 4 times 3. It cannot be 2 times 6. 2 and 6 are both even. You're not going to get an odd number. You must have at least one odd. Okay, so it turns out to be 5x minus 4, 2x minus 3. Even though I'm showing you the answer, you may not get it that fast. You might have to guess around until you finally come up with it. So just keep trying until you get it. Okay, this one looks a lot harder, but there is a greatest common factor of 3x. So take out the 3x first, makes it much nicer. 5x squared minus 34x minus 7. Okay, and here's something else to think about. 5 times 7 is 35. I'm looking for 34. It's close by, so I probably want to multiply 5 with 7. Okay, so 5x and x, put the 7 there and the 1 there. And you can see this is negative 35x plus 1x is a negative 34x, so that does work out. Okay, this one, common factor is 2. They also all have a y. So 2y, 6x squared minus 17xy plus 7y squared. Okay, so leave that alone. A minus and a plus means they're both minuses. X squared got to be x times x. Y squared got to be y times y. 7 has to be 1 times 7. And then most likely there's going to be a 2 and a 3. So there it is, 3x minus 7y, 2x minus y. Double check with FOIL. Okay, 55, they tell you to plug in 2 to this expression. So 2 times 2 squared plus 7 times 2 plus 3. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 14 plus 3, 25. Okay, then they want you to plug in 2 to this one. So put a 2 there and a 2 there. 2 times 2 plus 1 times 2 plus 3. 5 times 5, 25. Same answer. The idea behind the problem was to show that it's plausible that that is equal to this. Okay, because when you plug in 2, you get the same thing. Finally, 59. Okay, it says what polynomial factors out to this. It really means multiply it out. So x plus 3, x minus 3, that's a difference of squares, we sometimes call that. X squared minus 9, x squared plus 9. And multiply that out, x to the 4th minus 81. All right, so these are notes for section 6.3.